Well, welcome back to another episode of Sunday League Struggles. We are now at episode 17, and we haven't done one of these for a while due to a combination of factors. One being that we did record the game, but the cameraman missed a majority of the footage. The second one being that the footage then corrupted on my computer. And then the third one is that we didn't record. And then the fourth one, well, we did actually record, but we lost. And I haven't actually put it on YouTube because we lost. That's not really the reason why. But before we move on to this game, let's recap the last few games which I actually have got recorded on my computer. So, in the game that followed the episode before, where we won in the Surrey Cup quarter-final 4-3, we played a team called Railway Telegraph at home in the league, and they didn't actually turn up with the cards that we normally do, like ID cards before the game, so we basically got the win anyway, and this game was technically a friendly. But Jamie did open his account for the first ever time while playing with me. I've never actually seen the guy score, so he did score. Ade also got a few goals, and we ended up winning 6-2. I mean, our cameraman Steve, who's also our chairman, didn't really catch the goals they scored, so we'll just avoid that game. The game after that was then Bosjam, who are top of the Premier Division in the League Challenge Cup, which is basically the FA Cup between all the divisions, and we managed to beat them 1-0, and I don't have the goal or the penalty save that I pulled off in this game as well. I mean, I've saved 7 penalties out of 9 this season, and this is the only one that I've not actually been able to show you. So, yeah, I'm just going to move on to the next one. Then we faced for the first time this season Paris Saint-Germain, who we have 4 times in the next month and a half, as we have them in 2 cup semi-finals and 2 league games. And this first game was the league game, and then the week after it was the cup semi-final for the Surrey Cup. Despite Badger giving us a lead after 28 minutes, we then conceded twice a few minutes later, and that was pretty much it. We ended up losing our first game of the season to this team and the league, which means that we're now sort of playing catch-up in the league now. And then finally, we beat Paris Saint-Germain the week after in the Surrey Cup semi-final in extra time 4-2, and they equalised with 2 minutes left to take it extra time before Levi completed his hat-trick in extra time to win us the game and send us into the Surrey Cup final. And it was a bit annoying that I don't have any of the footage from the game because no one actually recorded it, seeing as that's our first semi-final of the year. And we still got 2 more, 1 more against Paris Saint-Germain in a few weeks' time, and then at the end of the season in the League Challenge Cup. But after that recap, should we get into today's game? So, as I was saying before the recap, we took on Foreign Flyers, who are near the bottom of the league. Their season is nearly over, I think. We've still got quite a few more games to play. So, I think that might have been the reason they only turned up with 9 players, because I mean, there's not really anything to play for them anymore. But yeah, we had quite a lot of players unavailable as well due to the fact it was Mother's Day, and I think they all had other things to do. So we only had 4 substitutes. For the first time, I think, this season, we've normally had 7 players on the bench, or 5, depending on which competition we're playing in. But we also had some big team news as well while the kickoff happens in the background. That Ashley, who plays at right back or centre back for us, he was welcomed back into the team as he's been out for quite a long time with an injury. I think it was his knee. I mean, I can't remember. I mean, I feel bad for forgetting. The first chance of the game fell to us, and it fell to Tyrone on the left wing, and he cut inside and fired it over the bar after only about 25 seconds. And, I mean, it did set the scene for the rest of the game, really. And less than a minute later, Forum, despite having only 9 men on the pitch, did manage to make a chance, and one of their players ran through, and he tried to toe poke it over me, and thankfully I got enough hands on it to push it over the bar. I mean, that could have been a very worrying start to go 1-0 down to 9 players. It was pretty much end-to-end stuff, really, and Matty then missed a chance to put us 1-0 up after 3 minutes, and, I mean, you're probably wondering, how are we not beating 9 men at this time of the game? I was thinking the same thing, really. A good goalkeeper has to be able to command his box and tell his players when to head it back to him. I mean, I forgot to do both of those in this instance. I think that is a real-life representation of me trying to hold on to a relationship. Oh, and then Badger ran through straight down the middle and then managed to put it wide. I mean, this wasn't looking too good at this point of the game. Oh, and then Badger got another chance 2 minutes later, and did he put it away this time? No, he didn't. Then we have a contender for one of the worst time tackles this season, which their number 4 did get booked for. And finally, after what seemed like Badger's 80th attempt, he eventually gave us the lead by calling in Beauty from inside the box to give us a 1-0 lead. And then he made amends yet again by putting us 2-0 up after running... Oh wait, he didn't. Oh no, sorry, he missed again. It's like watching a prime Edison Cavani. And then he was denied again, this time by the goalkeeper who saved low to his right to keep out Badger's low shot. And, I mean, the fact that Forum was still 1-0 down at this point of the game after all Badger's attempts and all the attempts we did have at goal was quite astounding. Although fair play to the goalkeeper who pulled off another good save, this time from Tyrone. But some good pressure by Sean on the edge of their box saw him run through and goal, and he duly dispatched it to give us a 2-0 lead and to make the game a little bit more comfortable. Then Joe went in for a tackle which the referee deemed as quite excessive and ended up booking him as well, even though I think he actually did win the ball. But some good play within their box saw the ball fall to Badger, and once again he managed to put it into the net to make it 3-0 to us and get his second of the game. And unfortunately my brother couldn't keep up with the action, and a minute later Matty made it 4-0, and that was pretty much game over. And their misery was compounded a few minutes later as Charlie managed to run through the middle, and then his ball through managed to avoid pretty much everyone until I found Sean at the back post, and Sean dispatched it to make it 5-0 and get his second of the game. Now, my brother didn't actually catch this on camera either, but Joe then got a second yellow card for another one of those challenges he made earlier, and the referee, as I said, gave him a second yellow and sent him off. Now, if we had the footage, it would show that he won the ball quite cleanly. I'm not really sure how the ref booked him, but yeah, unfortunately I've only got the bit where you got the red card. Then Bradley went into the book for supposed dissent at the referee, even though he swore in frustration. And after all that, they fired the free kick wide, so brilliant. And after a very eventful first half, that was half time. On to the second half. Forum then went down to 8 men, and once again it was for dissent. And one of their players got red carded. I mean, he got straight red, even though he got booked in the first half. I mean, I would repeat what he said, but I don't want to get the guy banned, like, for any longer than he will be. So, yeah, we're just going to move on. We then sent on Julian for Bradley, as we didn't want Bradley to get sent off as well. So Julian also saw his header cleared off the line. And if you thought for a second that Forum going down to 8 men means they probably wouldn't attack, they had one attack and it didn't trouble me at all. And Tyrone bullied his way into the box, and the ball was going around the whole box. I don't know how it ended up towards Matty, but then Matty ran forward and then put a sumptuous outside foot shot into the top corner to make it 6-0. And one of their players went off injured, which meant they were now down to 7 men. Before the final moment of the game, and I'll explain why in a second, was Dudley launching the ball forward, and Chris managed to keep it in, pass it to Dudley, who then sent the defender to the shops, and then fired it home for his first ever goal while playing with me. I mean it literally when I say I have never seen him score a single goal, and I mean this was finally the moment, albeit it was against 7 men, against a team who had nothing to play for. But I'm not going to put a downer on it. But as I said, it was the last action of the game because the referee abandoned the game at 7-0 because a few of the Forum players walked off, which meant that Forum didn't have the minimum amount of players to carry on the game. So the result stood at 7-0, which means that we go into the last 3 games of the league season against 2 of the top 3, us being second. So, I mean, basically I should have said the other 2 teams in the top 3, really. But we'll be back again next week where we play on Paris Saint-Germain in the Intermediate Cup semi-final. So this is our second semi-final this season against the same team, and we're playing them at home again. So that's the 3rd time we're playing them at home this year. But yeah, sorry for not uploading recently. I mean, time has just been so difficult. Hopefully we'll get some more videos out like soon because I need to finish some series. But if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like on it. We'll be back again, as I said, next week where we play Paris Saint-Germain, who have beaten us and we've beaten them. So we're in for a cracker.